Happy New Year, y'all, again. Thank you for tuning into my podcast. I'm Seriously Focused Johnnie, SF Johnnie. You are now tuned into Difficult People Chronicles. Today is a message, and the message is called The Right One. When I talked about the New Year's 2023 message, one of the things I talked about was that the enemy and the demon and the whatever you want to call them, evil spirits, they don't mess with the right. So I'm gonna tell you a story and then I'm gonna go into the message in detail. You have two people. You have Julia and let's say Darren. Julia has been living in her neighborhood for years. Darren just moved to the neighborhood and happens to be her neighbor. So as soon as Darren moves to the neighborhood, all of a sudden Julia starts getting, I would say, sniffles. And Darren, he introduces himself to all the neighbors, but some of the neighbors, they just keep to themselves. They open the door, hey, how you doing? They go on about their business, close the door. He never communicates with them. They never communicate with him. But him and Julia became friends. Why? Because they're neighbors. And Julia, she makes friends with everybody. So the sniffles ends up turning into a cough. And in the midst of things, she start having chest pains. So she discusses it with Darren, and he's like, oh, maybe you should drink some tea. She says, no, I think I should go to the hospital. He says, no, I have some tea in my house. I'll give you such and such and such. It's pretty good. Open up your chest. So he gives it to her. She takes it. She drinks it. And it does a little good. The next day, things get worse. Her body starts breaking down. As soon as she decides to pick up her phone to call her doctor, Darren is on the other end. Hey, what you doing? I was just checking on you. Strange and odd. But she dismisses it. Then all of a sudden she gets to the door, fully dressed, because she's about to head out and go to, let's say, urgent care or the hospital. As soon as she gets to the door, open the door, Darren is at the door. And she, in her head, she's like, he's doing too much. And he says, oh, you need to rest and this and this and that. So he basically convinces her that it's minor. Somebody he know had the same thing and she needs to just relax and rest and all this other stuff. Days and weeks go by. She's feeling sick, like really sick. And Darren has been in her house cleaning and all sorts of stuff. And she says, you know what? I've had enough. I'm going to the hospital. I don't know what's wrong with me. My doctor's going to meet me there and all this other stuff. She gets to her car and then she decides that she's going to call a cab service to come and get her just in case because she's really not feeling good. Gets in the cab, gets to the hospital, and as soon as she enters the hospital door, she starts praying, asking God what's going on with her and all this other stuff. And she prays and prays and prays. Goes through testing and prays and prays and prays. And then when the doctor meets with her, he tells her there's nothing wrong with her. But he can see how sick she is. And the nurse comes in and he's staring at her, but he's not really saying much. He waits until the doctor leaves. And then he says to her, stop hanging with your neighbor. She finds it kind of odd and she looks at him. And she says, well, what do you mean? And he said, your neighbor is the reason why you're sick. Angry and annoyed, she thanks the nurse. She leaves the hospital. And as soon as she gets home, the neighbor is locked up in his house. He doesn't come over to see how she's doing. He doesn't meet her at the door like he's been doing. Why? Because he's afraid now that she knows that he's been doing something to her. So over the next few days, she starts praying and praying and praying and praying and going to God and doing everything she's supposed to do. And whatever the neighbor did to her now happens to him. So one day she goes to the window because she hears noise outside her window, and when she goes and looks, it's the ambulance taking him out of his house. He goes to the hospital and he never comes back. During that time, Julia sits down and thinks about all the things that happened during that time since Darren showed up, and she realizes that a lot of things in her life suffered. Relationships within, I would say, 3 months span, relationships, her bank account. Why? Because every time she got up to go pay a bill or tried to pay a bill online or something, her phone was ringing and it was Darren. And then when the bills started rolling in, she was hit with a late fee. Cable got shut off. Electric bill was ridiculous. Car note was ridiculous. And this was all because of Darren. Then one night, she goes to God in prayer and thanks Him for everything He has done for her. And, thanks God for everything He has done for her and, and continues to worship Him. And God comes to her and tells her everything about Darren. Darren was a warlock. He was doing witchcraft. And the goal was for her life to be stolen, in a nutshell. But whatever he tried to do backfired. And that's why he's dead. End of story. So, moral of the story, keep fighting and praying to God. Now let's get into this message. The enemy has been working endlessly, tirelessly, blocking access to everything, lying. They took a lot of people to court for money, stole, destroyed people's blessings. They even constructed with the devil the death of some people in the spiritual world. People in their family has been living off of what I call death money. Money they receive off of doing dirty deeds. They even did dirt to their own family siblings, meaning that the enemy is successful or appears to be successful with whatever they did, and let's say their sibling cannot get a break. Not with a good job, marriage, nothing. They just can't get a good break. And then they ran into you. They thought they could do whatever they was doing all over again. Same old story. It was going to be easy. They can pull from you, whatever it is. Money, energy, power. Your blessings. What I saw is that this person is a male and is a warlock who wants payment, power, and the ability to control you. So he is messing with you, but you giving him a fight. Keep fighting. So the fight can be the fight of their life. He may have won some battles with other people, but not with you. The reason why he's won the battles with other people is because they weren't praying. You different. A different type of different. And some days it's a struggle and some days you tired. But you got to keep fighting. Now this guy's upset because you not giving in, and he's upset. So now he's interfering with your money. That's the step that he's taking now. He is using spells, dark forces to put you in bondage. And just so you know, a warlock is a male witch. So it looks like this. Example, all of a sudden you were told something is free, and then you see an extra bill, or you make a mistake and leave the lights on and go away for the weekend, and all of a sudden your electric bill is ridiculous. Something you have never done before, but within, let's say, 3 months, you did that 3 times, and it's not like you. Go to God about your state of mind and your finances, so the enemy can continue to struggle like a rat with their bills. Another example is you put through all this paperwork for a brand new van. Then all of a sudden the dealer tells you something went wrong with the van and it doesn't exist. You need this van to transport people back and forth to the airport. And this is how you make your money. Go to God about your situation and get a new van that's affordable, less than what you was going to buy before. Because what can happen is that on the other side of the world, that same warlock gets into a bad accident, no van, no car, all in debt. So he can't even buy anything new, not even a bike or a pair of roller skates. Yep. Or here's another example. God forbid, you working on your business and he does something to try to stop you, like put you on hold, stop your paperwork. They get lost or your money's funny. And this is all because of jealousy and control. Why? He don't want you to be higher than him. And he turned you away when you said, let's do business. All the while, every time something in his life is coming up, debt, medical issues, people he relying on becoming funny, baby mama drama, and it's getting worse. No peace for the wicked. But he's not correlating what he did to you with what is going on in his life that God is doing. Because God said, vengeance is mine, I will repay. Whatever plan he has on the table, damaging other people, stealing lives, trying to control you and transfer your blessings, what's going to happen is the people, even the people he working with, giving them blood, giving them death money, he end up doing away with them. Why? Because they become costly and worthless. Or he suffers feeling the wrath of God. Or whatever he stole returns back to you and his whole life crashes. Karma. He done messed with the right one. Keep praying and going to God. Some people think that they are untouchable, but in this season, they're going to be touched by the wrath of God. They destroyed a lot of people's lives, and they walk around like they are innocent, a motivator with a smile on their face. As long as they were untouched, they were fine. Taking the lives, the marriages, stole from people, even took their kids and destroyed them for some people. God sees all. They done mess with the right one, the last one. Their downfall is gonna go slowly, drop by drop, to their knees, and then their face is gonna hit the floor. Don't say I didn't tell you, because I'm telling you, they done mess with the right one. Go to God in prayer. Recite the Psalms 91. Put a hedge of protection around you. Recite Psalms 23. Like John chapter 14 verse 20. In the day you will know that I am my Father, and you in me, and I in you. So if they come for you, who else do you think they coming for? Yep, go to God in prayer. Because that warlock wants you to give up. See, what's happening, what I see is happening for some people is that they out there doing these things to people, and what they doing, they know this ain't working no more. And why it's not working is because God is like really informing a lot of his people on what's going on. Why? Because they're going to him. No, they going to God. And if they are going to family members or friends, they turning them in the direction to go to God. So all these people doing these little evil deeds and dirt in the cut, what they doing is slowly not working. They getting weak. But for whoever this is, it's a male witch doing stuff. He's trying to stop you from doing whatever. And it's all about power, money, and control. So stop thinking about the person in front of you, the flesh, and what that person is doing and all of that, because you got to fight in the spiritual realm. That's why people be wasting energy. They be too busy fighting the person in front of them instead of fighting that spirit behind that person. Yep. That warlock is doing too much. He's starting things in the spiritual realm, and then you seeing it manifest in the natural world. And because you didn't pray about it, it's manifested. Go to God. because the warlock is going through some things. It's not looking pretty for him anymore. So he's more restless, losing sleep, and doing more because he's trying to figure out how to take you down for whoever this is. And this could be a man who's doing spells on behalf of a woman. Like she went to someone to go get things done. The warlock done messed with the right one. He even took you to court, try to take your money, whoever this is, try to block you access, try to stop you from doing things that were positive, even helping other people. He tried to stop all that. The warlock done messed with the right one this time. And that's what's going on for a lot of people. They in positions where they've been going through some things. And the person that's been doing it, they going through it even harder. Why? Because whatever they did is backfiring. So that's it for today. Yep. Your homework is to get rooted in the Bible and go to God in prayer. Check me out on YouTube, like, subscribe, click the notification. Check out my store for suggested topics. Email me. I still got some topics to go over. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I do. But I'm only airing one episode a week. Yes. So, what else? Also, for the beginning of the year, I marked down my sessions to 20% off. Go to my website, Seriously Focused Johnnie, sign up and work on being a better you. Get the download. Your money matters. And have a blessed week. Later, y'all.